This the mood music, streetwear exclusive, wrestle through confusion, tired of excuses, time to lose it, stop trying to prove shit, new whip, first aid kit, cause you bruising, wild like scouts as an elbow, start up the monsoon, lift up your welly boots, dancing in front rooms, playing that mad tune, know it's a vibe when we hear it, they blessing it, 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 blessing it.
Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something they never done themselves. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something they never done themselves. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something they never done themselves. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something they never done themselves. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something they never done themselves. Never let anyone tell you.
Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you.
Never let anyone tell you.
Yeah, the UK sound it evolved, holding the gold, broke all the mold, building a culture from under our nose, taking the homegrown sound around the globe, fire and water and earth in the cold, metal that came from the blood of the stone, set it in stone, what they call home, heavy artillery come for the throne, trying to claim that when they're not ready, but they're ready, grew up with the man that hold it steady, ready, praying and saying then the heavy, trying to claim that well, they're not ready, grew up with the man that hold it steady, ready, praying and saying then the heavy.
Never let anyone tell you.
Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you.
Good. Good. That you can't do something they never done themselves. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something they never done themselves. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something they never done themselves. Never let anyone tell you.
Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you.
Never let anyone tell you.
Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you. Never let anyone tell you.
Never let anyone tell you.
And they know that they not like us. We ain't gon' do it.
My style is the bomb, daddy bomb. My style. My style is the bomb, daddy bomb.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Daily Profiler Statistician.
Mr. Daily Profiler Statman.
While others guess where the market might go, you crunch the numbers, projecting highs and lows with surgical precision.
The high of day, low of day, you've got them dialed in.
London Open, you've measured it New York over under. You've tested it Asia range. You've logged every tick since 2018.
No lagging indicators for this guy.
Only you can say, based on the last 47 days, there's a 63% chance the high of the day forms before 11 a.m.
Probability never sounded so small.
So crack open a cold one, because trading isn't luck, it's statistics and a really big spreadsheet.
It's Mr. Daily Profiler Stockmans.
Digging the new song. Digging the new song.
Did you like that?
I love it. Epic. I like the R&B one too. The R&B one that Alpha Profits put in there was pretty dope, and the one that Trace Don't Lie did. It's pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
I like how it starts with never letting one tells us, and it moves into not like us.
Oh, dude, I did that little transition there because it was weird, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, it sounds good.
If y'all like it, let us know in the chat. Good morning, everybody. What up?
But
What up?
nothing is better than Roll Manager Genius.
Yeah, PTFX knocked that out of the park. Morning, everybody.
So while everybody gets logged in, I do have an announcement. On Monday, so we live trade on Monday from 8:30 to 11, right? We do the war gaming on Fridays. Like me and Austin, and I war game every morning between 8:45 and 9:15, right? And then we live trade within our Discords every day, all day, right? From soon to be Asia all the way to New York close. But Monday, so we launched a new boot camp in January, which is a 3-month course that teaches you education phase, risk phase, and then the trading phase. And it's 3 months because like we sit there and make you do the uncomfortable. We sit there and make you learn your system. We sit there and teach you the statistics behind everything. But on Monday, if you have not gone through the boot camp, we're going to be giving away 2 free boot camp memberships. So if you have somebody and you've been through the boot camp or you're part of the pack that you want, have them join Monday's stream, and there'll be a quiz, right, at the end or the midway point that we'll give based off of the data that we talked about. And if you're new here right now, because I know like I reposted something with T-Trace and I got like 70,000 people viewing it. It's crazy how like that's the tweet that went viral. I know that there's a lot of new faces in here that probably came from there. And you do want to check out the boot camp, which is $1 a day or $100 for 3 months, right? Like come on Monday, pay attention, take notes, and then like participate in the quiz, and you might win a chance of 2 free boot camp slots.
Heck yeah. Come on down, baby. Make sure you guys tune in Monday, 8:20 a.m. EST. I think we see somebody in the chat here. GRC Trader. Yeah, if you guys are new here, let us know in the chat too. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're new or you come here, always like to see where you guys are watching from.
Dude, did you see this Nightbot?
If you want to be called an F-tard until you're profitable, join. There it is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God, that's funny. All right, you want to go first today?
Sure. All right, and I'm sharing screen anyway, so let's start with the daily chart. So we're above previous month 50%. NFP Friday, we're currently on this NFP Friday, right? So we anticipate higher prices, right? We expect stats show us on the daily chart when this happens to expect 70% green days, 30% red days, meaning majority of the time during this market environment on the daily, you're going to get lows of days at 1800, 03, 930 at 1030, right? And you're going to get closes in the afternoon session majority of the time at the end of the day, right? So now we're going to go into candle science on the daily chart. And like, there's definitely a demand for this because, like I said, I did one little tweet about it and it's got 40,000 views and like 300 likes and like a billion comments of entitled people asking me to give them something for free because they think it's going to lead to profitability, but we know that's not how that works. So we can see based off of Wednesday being a green day, based off of yesterday being a red day, taking out the high, closing below this close price, that gave us a probability of 32% of taking out previous day high today. Well, we did that, so we can check it. There's a 40% probability of taking out the low, right? But we already took out the high and we already lost the opening price, so we checked that. So now we can anticipate where do we think the close is going to happen. And today is kind of cool because there's an 82% probability that we'll close above yesterday's opening price. There's a 90% probability that we'll close above yesterday's close price. There's a 97% probability we'll close above yesterday's low. And there's a 54, which, believe it or not, is a pretty higher probability to close above yesterday's high, right? So so we know that, right, there's a lot of probability of us closing inside of this wick, right? But now we can say, since we're expecting a green daily candle, right, since we're expecting, for us to, close somewhere in the upper range, maybe it won't be this high, but like how high, based off of these two candle sequences and what we've done today, what is a realistic target going to the upside? Before we know, we probably should take cash flow or take profit, all that stuff, right? And so, like, going back into the candle science, right, we can click right here, and now we can see the samples of all the data sets. This would be previous day high and how far they went before they reversed from a percentile standpoint, right? So we can see that the 30th percentile, meaning 30% of the data after taking out this high went up here and then reversed and then made the close, right? So that means that there's still 70% of data up here, meaning that 70% of the data after taking out previous day high continued going past this blue line, and that's at 0.19%. Same thing with 50% of the data, meaning right here. That means 50% of the time made it at least to this. The other 50 went higher and 50 below went lower. And then the 70th percentile, meaning 70% of the data reversed before hitting this line. So now we can have realistic targets, right here. And I drew them out during the 5:30 class this morning. This would be the 30% at the bottom of the green box. This would be the 50%, right, at the where green meets red, and this is the 70th percentile. So we know that majority of it, right, reverses somewhere up in this green box to the red box, right, before reversing. So moving on to the weekly, right, we can see that from a data approach, this supports that idea, right? Because out of the last 56 weeks, the whole year's weeks we put the low of the weekend majority of the time on Sunday, 50% of the time, the low or the high of the week has been put in by Tuesday, right? And then we can see that the MFE, which is the distribution of the week, usually hits the top part of the distribution on a Friday from 9 to 1600. So we can definitely, we're locking this in as the low of the week. We can definitely expect a new high. We know that we went MAE to MFE, and this is at 90% level right here where the top of the blue line is from a weekly perspective, right? So now moving on. Oh, nice. Lovely. This is really fun. All right. So now moving on, right? We're going to look at the daily profile, right? So we just talked about candle science, which allows us to put probabilities on OHLC. Now we're going to use a system that lets us put probabilities on what the different sessions do. Open, high, low, close. I mean, Asia, London, New York 1, and New York 2, right? So we can see that Asia went long and London sold. So Asia, Tokyo markets bidded it up, and London, Frankfurt markets said, no, we're going to sell it, right? So now we're going to come over to the daily profile. I want to reflect that. So long, true. Let me go to the actual right one. Long, true, short, true, and then we know we went short, right? So we can see that London has a 72% probability of still being a hit. Guess what that is? That's above us at this London OU line next to previous day high. Asia, which we're heading to right now, right, has an 88% probability, but because of the time factor, we know that majority of the time it happened before 6, right? And that we're coming up on the 90th percentile of this 88% of getting hit. And so if we can't hit that Asia OU by 9:45, we know that we're netting, right? So now looking at the possible scenarios around this time frame, this fixed constant box, 7:30 to 8:30, right? There's only two possible scenarios they can do between now and 11:30. It can keep going lower, or it can net off of a level and then end on top of it, right? And so we can see right now that the false represents the reversal, and that happens 67% of the time. The continuation happens 32. So we know that we're going to check out the false, and that's what we're going to put our edge on, right? We can see under the false, right, that 1800 low of the day is the mode. It can make a new low of the day between 9:30 and 9:45, but majority of the time they happen at 1800. Secondary mode is at 9:30 to 9:45. The high of the day comes at the end of the day. Well, that sinks in with the candle science, and that sinks in with what we saw on the weekly probabilities. All right, so now, all right, let's go look at, and we can see London now has an 86% probability if that happens, and that typically happens when gets hit between 9:30 and 10. London has the same scenario, decreased probabilities by 0.5%, but it's still like this isn't a true 87% because it didn't happen within the time frame that it should have happened. All right, so now we're going to look at our P12 levels to see what we're expecting. Well, we can see right out the gate that we hit P12 mid when we were supposed to, and P12 low has a higher probability of getting hit after P12 mid than P12 high, right? So going back, we can start defining exactly what we're expecting. We're expecting a probability structure like this, where we come make a new low, and then we do that reversal, and then quarters can be respected all the way to 11 o'clock. And then we'll use the afternoon range to guide our afternoon trades. Right, so last thing I'll do is put high day time and price, and we can see, right, for a short false, there's your Asia OU, it's been hit, right? And the further away we go, the less likely it is this scenario will play, but we have data for a low of the day, so we're going to put 0.1 to 0.6. And we're going to go from 1800 to 9, or we'll say 10:15, because we see that there's that secondary mode for the low of the day. And then for the high of the day probabilities, the mode to median, we can put 0.5 to 0.8 to the upside and see if that syncs with the candle science MFE. 0.5 to 0.8. Right? So now we can say that we're coming into that low of the day zone right now, right? So now we're going to be looking to see, can we bounce right here, right now in this AJOU, or do we need to make a new low of the day? And do we need to make it inside of this low of the day zone? Are we coming into previous day footprint to bounce to head higher? Well, that's too easy, right? So how we determine, my game plan today is obviously I'm going to wait for 9:30. Right, if we bounce right here, right now, 9:30 will give me entry, and I'll ride it up to oblivion. Right, but right, for me, I will take the 9:30 sell only for cash flowing targets, like 10 basis points at best. Right, and I'll be looking for that reversal, and we do something called the 4-step reversal using the 9 o'clock 50%, the 9:30 price, 10 o'clock, and the Q1 stat. Right, and you know that what that is, and you do that 1,000 times in the boot camp so you can identify when this false reversal comes in. All right, the last thing I'll say is realistic expectation targeting. Right, over the last 10 days, the median range, right, is 330. Let me change the color so I can actually see what I'm looking at. Right, and so now we can see that we do that. Asia overspent and London did not overspend, so we're still in volatility contraction mode, right? So 330, which I have this price range tool, does say that we can go low to high, right? In this low of the day zone to the high of the day zone. So now let's do our New York 1 distro that we expect from 7:30 to 11:30. Right, we can see that's 0.93.
Mickey,
Yo.
I just want to hop in here real quick and report some unfortunate news here. I'm sharing my screen. We may be getting stopped out of attempt number 3. Unfortunately, here's the trade from the overnight session. We may just be getting stopped out, and we may the saga for trying to capture the 60 to 70%. There's the stop loss.
Okay, so do not let him fool you.
Well, we gotta
RIP. Here's the funny thing, guys. Like, Austin is the king of. So what he didn't tell you, right, is that he's already taken TP twice now. So this stop out was like, okay, cool. We've already paid ourselves, so it's not that big of a deal. Good
I
grief.
will accomplish this goal. Mark my words.
Well, I mean, you have another chance at 9:30 to do that when we do this reversal, right? Or if we decide to do this reversal. So now I'm looking at, right, like I will take 9:30 sells for cash flow only, but I will be patient and try to look for that 4-step reversal to start targeting longs only for the day. Trend longs will be on, cash flow for the hours will be on, longs in general will be on, right? Now, the last thing I'll leave you at is, so the 30th percentile off of candle science, right, said they expect 25,786. 25,786. Now, the low day, high day, the high of the day, 2786 is right here. So they're matching. So this is a high probability target for a high of the day, right? You've got to wait for the 4-step reversal. Do not try to fight this 4-hour momentum. Wait for it to be obvious, and be patient with your trades. That's all I got. Back to you, Austin.
Well, I just want to make a formal announcement that Mr. Diddy in the chat is everybody say their goodbyes. He faded me today and he won, and that hurts my feelings. So his TP was my stop loss.
How many times will I long the low of day?
Did you build a song just for this moment?
From all of my mistakes, the pain it takes just feels the same. The market shows no mercy. I wish it did. I was just a kid. So much for one in a million trade. The low of day. Austin stop loss got hit. Trying along the low of day.
Dude, I can't with you, man. That was epic. That made my 2025.
Dude. Oh my god, it was funny. All right. Okay. All right. Let's all right, let's get serious. Okay. Too much fun. All right. So now that the overnight trade's over, let's get into what we see. So first things first. What I do every single morning.
Austin, dude. Like, I'm gonna be laughing about that all day now.
Trying to long the low day.
It's like a Bryan Adams song too.
Well, I told it to make it a piano funeral style song, and it knocked it out of the freaking park, bro. All right. So first things first, I'm on the hourly chart. I want to see, okay, are we above or below the majority of statistics that price could potentially revisit for the day? Today, obviously, we're below everything, this huge down move here. So I'm looking for the footprint, the bullish footprint. If I'm looking for statistical evidence for us to get back to these opening prices, statistical levels, we're now short for New York. Well, yeah, we're short for New York 1. and we go false more than we go true. So I want to see, okay, well, if that's the case, if we're going to have mean reversion, if we're going to come to those statistics, then where is the catalyst going to be? And then whereas if we get disrespected, maybe the continuation of the move instead of the reversion of the move. And that's where I find my footprints. Footprints are just untapped wicks to the left of current price. So, and then sometimes they're really big, sometimes they're really small. That's what she said. So then we just spin this all the way until a wick gets interrupted by a candle body. So you see how all of these wicks, if I were to just keep on going down this wick line, okay, right here at the end of this one, look, there's another wick, boom, candle body. So draw this huge body. And sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's literally like this. Just all depends on the day. And this tells me just where an area of, if we come to the midpoint of it, if we start interacting with the upper part of it, and we start reversing, making market open a low of day in this area, just added context of where we may get some sort of buying pressure, or we just may melt through it. And this tells me contextually, okay, well, if we're looking like we're going to have a true style day, directional day, sell off to the downside, well, then we're going to rip through this footprint most likely. So it just gives me both sides of the coin, just like a little landmark. Then I go to the 5-minute chart, and I want to see what the current high and low of day is. All right. So currently we just took one of the 4 major in statistic lows of days with a 3 a.m. in statistic high of day. So I'm going to mark it here, 320 in stat high of day. And now we're moving into an out of statistic low of day. We don't typically make lows of days unless it's news, which I think was there. Yeah, we had Canadian employment change. What else do we got? Don't we have like some, like, yeah, we got inflation or something at 10. I don't know. We got a bunch of red folder news events, but we don't really have anything at 8:30.
Biggest thing was the Canadians, you know.
Yeah, stupid dude. Look at freaking Canadians.
Like
freaking
just moving the markets.
That's why I got stopped out.
Every time it's the Canadians that get you, man.
Canadians, dude. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna have a chip on my shoulder with these dang Canadians and their maple syrup and stop hunts and all that. All right, so we're just gonna mark this here as an out of stat low of day. All right, and so now what does the high of day and low of day tell us? Well, if this is an in statistic high of day and this is an out of statistic low of day, this tells me that, okay, well, if we're seeing this giant sell pressure, if I'm bullish on the day, if I want to find, you know, a quote unquote buy the dip, if you're a support and resistance trader, ICT trader, pattern trader, candle momentum, whatever the heck you use, DOM, bookmap, any of that stuff, if you were to find bullish intent here, okay, we can say, okay, well, yeah, if we see some sort of correction right now, it might not be the time that we have the significant low of day. And so if I have any sort of bullish intent, bullish signal, bullish pattern, whatever, then the next major time that I want to try to also be on the right side of when this daily candle is going to make the wick is going to be around market open. So 9:30. Around 10:30, this hour of time right here. And so if we know that right now the low of day is 8:50 and we're just constantly melting off, then market open is going to be the deciding factor because it's the next major pivot of the day. Are we going to lock in this in statistic low and then mean revert to the upside, taking these statistics you see on my chart here? And then we're going to get it one level deeper. We add the daily profiler to our chart. And what the daily profiler does for me is it allows me to see nuances within the highs and the lows of days, and then the conditional statistics of different levels for what we've done in the overnight session. So now that we're broken for Asia, I'm going to go over here. You guys can't see this part, but I'm on my other screen and I'm just in the daily profiler updating the variables because we did break Asia here. So that's long true broken, short true none. And so these highs of days and lows of days are going to be a tad bit off, but now that we're short, I can only have to update 2 of them. So then I go over here, turn the long scenarios off, high of day is going to be 0.3 to 0.5 distribution with a time of, and look at that. So there is something to be said for a short true today. We have a 2:15 to 3:30 high of day time, and then a low of day distribution of -3 to -1.4 with a time of 12:15 to 12:30. And then if we go false, and for those of you that are new here, you don't know what that means. A false is just a reversion where we take this high right here. And so if you want to mark it on your chart, the high would be 25,717.75. And so then this gives us a high of day distribution of 0.3 to 0.5 with a time. And look at that. Oh, no, wait. I'm copying the freaking short true again. 0.5 to 0.7. High of day at 11:45 to noon. Low of day is -2 to -6 with a low of, and boom, right there, 9:30 to 10 o'clock. So now you can see it's drawing these little zones here because it's just letting our eyes focus on this, on the statistics, instead of having like a giant spreadsheet, you know, trying to decipher all these different times. It does it for us. So we can see that the next major time now, for if we're going to go true or false, is going to be around 9:30 to noon for the low of day. And so now the next question, the next puzzle we got to solve, the next piece we got to solve is, if we're in this low of day time period within this giant bullish footprint, and we're coming up in a time to make a low of day, what is the deciding factor that gets me into a trade that actually allows me to manage risk and put some risk on the table? And that's going to be market open. So if I go down to the 1 minute time frame, a lot of you guys know I love to trade the midnight open. When the midnight open is stacked in the same direction, still untapped, starting at 8 a.m. with all these other statistics, this makes the trade even more appealing to me. If you guys go, I think we talked about this on the Monday stream. So we publish all these streams on YouTube here. So on Monday, it's recorded. You can go back and watch it. I talked a little bit about how a few of my favorite setups and what they are. And this is one of them. When 9:30 makes a significant low of day, I love trading off that to the upside, because think about the instrument that we trade. We trade an index fund. We trade an indice. Okay, we trade NASDAQ. NASDAQ is baked. It is designed to go higher more than it goes the downside. It's just how it's designed. If the companies that make NASDAQ underperform, guess what? They get kicked, and then companies that meet the criteria come in. So
one thing that we can do, if you're new to this and you don't know statistics, one thing you can do to verify that, because if you're new here, and if you go verify what he just said yourself, right? If we're above NFP Friday, previous month, 50%, 70% green days, 30% red days. Now go to any bear market, however you define it. We define it by quarterly lows and continuation, right? You will see that you get 50% red days and 50% green days in bear markets, right? Which is supported, and that's a statistic that supports exactly what he just said.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And so if we know that market open is a really good time, so let's loop all these stats together. If we know that this time and this distribution, when I say distribution, price movement, okay, price moving into this box and at this time, if we know that this is the next checkpoint to make a low of day, then the market open is the live price component that marries statistics. If we get above the market open, that's like an auction. It's as if we open up here and then we start closing above, people are accepting above. It's just like if you go to an auction and people are saying starting bid at 100. Do I have 110? Yes. Do I have 120? And if people keep bidding it, it's going to keep going higher. So if we get acceptance above the RTH open, no matter how you trade, no matter what your perspective on price is, we are objectively bullish. And if we are objectively bullish, then what's the expectation of that bullish intent? That's where statistics come in. Statistics give us the ability to objectify price expectations. Now, sometimes we're wrong, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're just right a little bit, sometimes we're wrong a little bit, sometimes we're wrong and just tremendously wrong, because there's a thing called variance. So when you have a lot of these statistics here, right, saying 80%, 90%, 70%, whatever, there is still times where we make maybe a portion of that and then we still fail. This right here is variance. And so how do I conquer this? How do we capture this? We structure trades to take a portion of the overall move instead of trying to capture the whole move, because we know that if we try to capture the whole move, every point that I try to target away from my entry is further exposure into the market and further exposure to variance. And that's just randomness of the market. That's the ebbs and flows, the underperformance and overperformance of something that happens, and we all experience it. So going into my trade idea, and what I see with all that context being said, is now that we have an in statistic, or we're short for New York 1 and we go false more than we go true. And because we have all statistics above price, opening prices 1 through 7 a.m., we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bullish levels above price with the New York 1 high. We also have the London OU that we have not broken yet. We statistically go broken more than we don't for London and Asia. So we have a lot of reasons we don't have to make a new high of day, but we have a lot of reasons to mean revert if we have acceptance above 930. If we don't find acceptance above 930, if we break below, I will only be looking for cash flow targets. I don't care if I say that and we melt another bajillion points to the downside. I try to structure my trades every single day to the highest probable scenario, not to win the singular trade. Okay, I always try to focus on every single day. If I align my habits with what historically happens more than it doesn't, I'll be taken care of long term. And the intraday is just, sometimes I'm going to overperform, sometimes I'm going to underperform, sometimes I'm going to go through drawdown, sometimes I'm going to go through heavy win streaks. The performance varies. But I know that if I stick to what happens more often than not long term baked into my trading, I'm going to be taken care of. And so I just want to end you guys with that today, because you don't have to be a statistical based trader to take that with you into your own philosophy with how you trade, because a lot of people, they try to be perfect in this game. Okay. They try to be perfect. They try to overanalyze a singular trade when John Rambo says it best, it's just an effing trade. And going into the market today, if we do find shorts to the downside, one reason that only gives me cash flow intent, even if we are showing signs of a true, is the fact that we have now came into the distribution of a short true. So you see this box right here. If this box was down here, okay, then mathematically we would have more distribution. We would have more price potential, which would then carry me to have a larger, price expectation. But if we make the market open and we come somewhere here, or if we do this correction off this giant down move, open up the market somewhere here, break to the downside, it'll be cash flow targets to whatever I can structure for a new low of day. And that's really all my expectation is for a short to the downside. Because the other side of the coin, if this 851 is the low of day, okay, and it's just right outside the window of making a 930 low of day, because we just talked about it, variance, sometimes that happens. If we do make that 851 low of day, we open up the market somewhere here after this crazy down move, break to the upside. This is the move I want to scale out of and build a position in. This is the move that I want to actually take an extended target for scaling out of cash flow, get another scale out for New York 1 going false, and then leave some other potentials for potential even new high of day for the short false, which is noon. I don't know why it's... Oh, we do have a short false high of day at 2:15 to 3:30. But if we come up here and take all these statistics, especially London OU, I'll try to see what the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock hour tells us, and I'll scale out around 10 to 11 if that happens. So long story short,
Bottom line up front. We need an intro to that. The bottom line up front. We need to make a video or a song. So we can
like a
transition.
little, like a little
Yeah.
transition with a music jingle.
Yeah. But not that Tinkerbell shit that you have going off in your background.
That's Trading View, bro.
Not that kind of jingle. No.
Bottom line up front. I wish I had a beard like that. 2 trade ideas I'm looking for is either a market open and we break short. It'll be cash flow shorts for just a new instat low of day. That's really it. And then if we break to the upside, it'll be extended cash flow longs for the mean reversion to all these stats. There you go.
All right. For me, all sells will be only for 10 basis points or 5 basis points, just scalps, cash flow, and targets. I will only take the 930 trade sell for that if it's obvious. And then 05 box as well. I'll wait until 10 o'clock to even start considering sells and what the data is telling me at that point. Everything will be structured around longs. So if we make the green pill right now and we start making the move before like we did yesterday, cool. I'll take the longs out of 930. I'll cover the queen and try to ride it up for extended targets, right? And then I'll add to that position around the 10 o'clock 05. If Captain Backtest triggers, right, I will take that long. All targets will come out at this point right here, right, which we talked about this already. Let it load, right, around the 30th percentile. So that's, what did I say it was? 788. So 788, which is right here. So right now, one thing you guys have to realize, we have plenty of stats right here saying to start buying the dips, and we have plenty of stats that say exit profit here. Right? If it can go beyond that, that's fine. But from a statistical standpoint, like I'm here to take the same trade over the next 100 days. If it does an anomaly move it up or anomaly move it down, I'm okay with missing that because I don't trade anomalies. I trade what happens every day off of the same decision points, the same day, every day, right? For the next 100 to 1,000 trades. All right, and then to add to kind of what Austin was saying with the John Rambo comment, right? Like you want to position yourself, no matter how much the prop world, the markets, the softwares try to gamify this process, right? And make you lose value of your dollar, right? You need to think quarter over quarter, this is my business. When do I accept business expenses and all that? And one great way to do that, and we teach this day zero, is to understand how to do stuff like Austin did overnight, where he got stopped out at 9 whatever this morning from that trade, but he's walking away smiling because 15 minutes into the trade, it was a risk-free trade. Well, you do that through position sizing and paying and covering the queen, right? So, right, like whether you join the boot camp or the pack trade group or not, like we offer plenty of free material, like the dump pouch, like plenty of education, how to cover your queen, how to make it a risk-free trade, how to position size correctly, right? Not based off of some PDF that Twitter gave you that says place your stop below this low, because we know that doesn't allow you to control your losses over time, right? So dig deep into that if you're a new trader, and remember the strategy is the least most important thing in trading, right? That's why 97% of people fail at intraday trading. Look up the Stanford article, the Harvard article, or any of the articles that talk about intraday trading. Well, why is that? Because 90% of the people still think it's about the strategy, when in reality, it's about the measured move and the risk profile and the position sizing around that, and learning how to get punched in the face when your strategy is going through consecutive loss periods. But that's all I got.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, it's 9:07. Pack Trade Group Bootcamp members, y'all know where to be. Friday, community live session. We host them in the Discord. So any community member, you can share your screen, at call price live. And when we say call price, we don't mean just, hey, this looks good. No, we actually say exactly when we're going to go long, when we're going to go short. We want to articulate the statistics and the tools that we use over live price, and we do it together. So that way, if somebody's doing something wrong, somebody can learn. If somebody's doing something right and somebody's curious about how we put this all together with live price, You get to see other perspectives than just Mick and I that you see Monday through Thursday. You get to see people from the actual community and how they articulate and consume this information and do it on the real market. So hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.
Share the Monday stream for free boot camp. Send it to your family who trades. Send it to your friends who trade in. I promise you, like between my experience in the market, my experience with my master's in stats, Austin's experience with stats in the market, and then just like it's a boot camp, whether you want to or not, it covers the whole realm of everything, right? So like share it with anybody you know, right? And see if they can get the free boot camp slots. And if you can't win it, it's $100 for 3 months, right? And it's $1 a day. So there you go. There's my little sell pitch.
Do it. Do it. Don't give yourself poopy diapers. All right. It's Friday. No, the market doesn't care. It's Friday versus a Monday versus Tuesday. You don't have to end this week big or small or at all. It's literally just another daily candle to stay grinding on your freaking goals and never, ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something they never done themselves.
They not like us, and they know that. They not like us. We ain't gonna do it. The only thing that can stop me is me. If you're doing this for the women, you losing. Do this shit for yourself. I do this shit for myself. I do this shit for yourself. I do this shit for myself.